Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer.
I'm Ethan.
And welcome to the Wasteland reviewer Dante Rowe show. So, my brother Ethan and I are doing a show together where we're going to be talking about our favorite fandoms, anime, and cosplaying. And if you couldn't tell by our little friends here, we're probably going to be talking about Dragon Ball Z.
Maybe.
Just maybe. So, to kind of outline what our first show is going to be like, we're going to talk a little bit about our own experiences cosplaying. One of us has a lot more than the other. Guess who? And then we're going to be shifting gears into talking about a particular fandom, and we're going to be talking about Mortal Kombat. So we're going to be talking about the 1995 extremely campy and fun Mortal Kombat, unlike the new one, which wasn't fun enough. But that's my opinion. And then we're going to be jumping into talking about Dragon Ball Z, which, to be honest, I haven't consistently watched since I was in, like, 1st or 2nd grade. So, but somebody here knows a lot more about it. And then each episode we're going to wrap up by jumping into said fandoms and talking about who we would want to cosplay as. Because we have infinite money in our imagination, so we could be whatever we want to be. So, to get things started, would you like to talk about your cosplaying experience first?
Sure. Well, was going to start a lot sooner than it actually did. Friend Richie talked about cosplay, going to conventions throughout high school. In particular, Otakon, which used to be in Baltimore, Maryland, now currently in DC. Though it took me till 2013 to actually start cosplaying. My first ever convention was MagFest, which is music and game festival. It's usually, there's a lot of chip tunes going on. One of the most badass game rooms out of any convention I've been to.
The nerds get swifty.
Can't run out of games to play, whether it's the commercialized games, indie games, arcade games, you name it, they probably have it there.
Or you could just wait in line forever and just keep singing Rock Band. John.
Yes.
So, I know, I remember that game, what was it, Soul? Where you're just like a light ball and just keep rolling around, lighting up torches and stuff and beacons like that. I had a lot of fun with that. I enjoyed that. I think we spent like 2 hours sitting there on a couch playing that at MagFest. Guess that's a nice transition into, so I've gone to 3 MagFests. So those are my only convention experiences. I didn't cosplay the first time around. Or was it the first time that I went all in and then I'm like, oh crap, I'm not doing that again?
I'm pretty sure it was the first time.
Yeah, so we were there for 3 days. The first day I was Hermit Luke Skywalker, because I grew out that beard for like 2 months.
The sassiest of all bitches.
Yes. Well, that's the funny thing, because that was pre The Last Jedi.
Mm.
So this was purely just based off of like the 2 seconds he was at the end of Force Awakens. Man, if I only knew how much of a sassy bitch he became, I would have had so much more fun at MagFest. I probably would have had a lot more angry people bringing up The Last Jedi. A lot of people have some strong feelings about The Last Jedi. I love The Last Jedi, so y'all can step off it. And then I trimmed down my ridiculous beard to be Wolverine the next day and wore my $250 leather jacket that I bought specifically for it. Still have. And then I shaved off all of my facial hair and was Mad Max, because Ethan here at one of those conventions bought me his ID card. So I was legit. And
I think that was Monster Mania Con.
Yeah.
All the badges that they had there.
Yeah, because I had a Wolverine ID card that you got me. I have the money from Firefly that you got me from that convention too. So I've had minimal. This was long before I was cosplaying, but there was one summer when I was working at the Academic Success Center at Ryder, and every Friday we dressed up as a different movie. And I dressed up as Vincent, and my buddy Matt, who you know from popping up on all of my shows basically, dressed up as Jules, and we were Jules and Vincent, and went to an IHOP afterwards. I promise you it didn't wind up the same way that the diner wound up in Pulp Fiction.
Would have been a little fitting.
I dressed up as Muldoon one time for Jurassic Park, and I was also Fezzik, which was probably the most fun. I got to walk around being Andre the Giant for a half day on Friday. But yeah, so I enjoy dressing up like movie characters and stuff like that. Dream MovieCon. I would love to go to MovieCon someday in my life, which is in LA. So that would be like an actual
Do it.
trip. And so my career as cosplayer is much shorter than Ethan's and a lot less extensive, but I enjoyed it. I enjoy going to cons, and
Thankfully, they're coming back. So.
they'll be back with a vengeance.
Yeah,
Maybe I probably want to wear. You probably want to wear a mask at a convention anyway, because people are stanky.
Mm-hmm. Confunk. It's real.
This is a real
Soap.
problem.
Just use some soap. That's all you gotta do.
Gotta wash yourself.
Get a shower.
Shower. Don't try going all 4 days without showering. 'Cause that shit happens. But, so, it's a little bit about our backgrounds in terms of cosplaying. I definitely have a lot less wigs.
I don't even know what happened to my wigs.
So,
Because no matter how long you grow your hair, trying to do sand hair is a little difficult.
I'm sure we'll talk about that.
Probably.
So, but we're going to start by talking about the 1995 Mortal Kombat movie, which it's right over there. There's very few movies for me that I could just throw on any day and just have a blast watching, and this is 100% one of those movies. Because, like, the memes, the quotes, like, basically anything Christopher Lambert says as Raiden, it's like, I don't think so. Or, I don't think so. And it's like, those are $500 sunglasses, asshole. Oh, Johnny Cage. Your soul is mine. And of course, the victory, fatality, anything. So, he's a really famous voice actor, actually voiced Goro in this. Kevin Michael Richardson, who's in a lot of different things. He's great, and, like, by far the most famous person in that movie is Christopher Lambert, because, like, Highlander.
Yeah.
So,
Another thing we watched as kids that we probably should not have watched.
I rewatched Highlander lately. That would be a fun one to talk about more in depth. That movie is so cheesy, so 80s.
I don't even remember it.
It was directed by a guy who did music videos, and it shows. Like, it feels like there's
shaking in the background.
There's whole scenes that feel ripped out of like an 80s music video. And Clancy Brown is the Kurgan, and Sean Connery playing an Egyptian named Ramirez. Who cares? It's Sean Connery, and Sean Connery's great.
Sean Connery.
And you would be remiss to think that he's actually in the movie a lot, because like he's in it for like 15 minutes. Sad. That was one of the saddest things. This is how 80s this movie is. Not to go off on too much of a tangent, it opens with WCCW wrestling with the Van Eriks fighting the Fabulous Freebirds and Queen playing. That's how 80s that movie is. But anyway, we're here to talk about Mortal Kombat. So, what do you like most about the 95 Mortal Kombat movie?
It was made in the 90s.
How's that going for it?
It just, the cheesiness of,
Yes.
It could be a really crappy movie, and you throw some cheesy stuff in there, and it just makes the movie.
Well, because the thing is, it's like, it doesn't take itself too seriously, and it really shouldn't, to be perfectly honest, because, like, not every video game translate well to being a movie, because, like, if you think about Mortal Kombat, at least the original ones, it's like, you're just fighting people. Yeah. There's no story. Now, they have really complicated stories, and, like, they spend a lot of time on that stuff. But, like, not in, like, the arcade version where it's, like, you go up a tower and fight people. So, basically, you got Enter the Dragon, more or less. And that's all it needed to be. And a bunch of silly, like... You can't... So, to be fair, they made Scorpion and Sub-Zero a lot less silly in the new one. Mm-hmm. Which worked. They worked. I enjoyed them in that movie. But, like, how they look in the video game just looks silly in real life. So they just had fun with it. Because, like, get over here! And it has that, like, obnoxious CGI snake thing that comes out of his hand. And it's just like, in the new one, it's like chains he's shooting at people. Like, this looks like the worst 90s CGI little thing. Not as bad as Annihilation, which that whole dragon fight at the end of the movie that looks like it was straight out of, like, a Dreamcast. It's so bad.
But the Dreamcast was beautiful back in the day.
It sure was.
Maybe short lifespan. It's upsetting because that console was amazing.
They didn't win the console wars. Poor Sega. They had some fun games on there.
At least they're still, they still make games. Everything by Atlas is essentially all of my favorite games.
Yeah.
It's still Sega.
But in terms of, like, with when Scorpion rips off his mask to reveal that he's a skullhead and starts shooting fire out of his mouth, I'm just like, they did it. They went there, and it was glorious. And then, of course, he blows up in the most obnoxious of explosions for no good reason, but because it was fun. Mm-hmm. I did think the Sub-Zero fight's a little cheap. Dude gets really outsmarted by Liu Kang. It's just like, he was charging longer than his Dragon Ball episode. At that point, where he's just like, ah! Except he wasn't screaming. He was doing it silently, where it's like, and just like growing the ice.
It's not as fun without the screaming for, 5 episodes straight for one power-up.
Yes.
That Spirit Bomb.
Spirit Bomb! But the reptile fight in that, which also Reptile as the lizard looks terrible.
Yes.
It's so bad. But it was a smart idea for them to convert him into like his Sub-Zero ninja looking form. And that was an awesome fight. And when Liu Kang started like pulling out like his moves from the game, where he's like runs at him and is like kicking him in midair with both of his feet, I'm just like, yes! So, more or less, that movie is just a ton of fun. And cheesy as hell. Mm-hmm. And that's all it needed to be. And, like, I appreciated what they were going for with the new one, where they were trying to be, like, more gory, and
they did a really good job with that.
That is very true. That happened. So they succeeded with that. I just felt like they didn't really do much with any of the characters. Yeah. Shang Tsung was just like, my job is to say people's names. Prince Goro. More or less, that was his whole entire role. And it made me really happy that Kung Lao was in it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, I don't want to spoil it because it's still a new movie, but like, what they do with Kung Lao is really disappointing. And also, like, it wraps up way too quickly. And just, like, bam, movie's over.
There's no character development at all.
Except for Kano.
I think, well, him, at least we had good backstory. Like, everybody that's a Mortal Kombat fan knows the backstory to Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Yes.
But at least, like, they gave you that. Almost everybody else is just like, oh, they show the one dude, he's just, cage fighting for, like, 30 seconds.
And gets his ass kicked.
Yeah, and then...
And then you're like...
You're the chosen one.
Yes, he's the chosen one, and he beats Goro. What? And he didn't even do a split and punch him in the nuts either.
I feel like they had... The actors were kind of... Except for Kano and Sub-Zero and Scorpion. I feel like they were the three characters that stole that movie.
Yes.
And then the rest of them were they were flat and...
It made me want... Because, like, basically Sub-Zero and Scorpion sandwiched the movie. Because, like, they opened the movie with their backstory, which was a cool opening. And then they have their big fight at the end, because, of course, that's the end of the movie, which they show off in the trailer. But, like, everything in between. And then I get the whole, like, have, like, an audience surrogate to, like, bring you into the movie. But, like... I didn't need some rando dude to be my lead character in a Mortal Kombat movie.
No, that's not what we're looking for.
It's not why we came here. That's not why I watched this on HBO Max.
It's not where I parked my car.
Well, hopefully with Johnny Cage in the sequel, because it definitely looks like they're getting a sequel to it. So...
Ryan Reynolds.
God.
Put somebody who can act in there.
If Ryan Reynolds is Johnny Cage...
I feel like he'll push.
Have my money now.
He'll push for it.
Have my money now.
If he can do what he did with Deadpool and get an R rating out of that from the mouse.
Well, well, to be fair, we haven't gotten an R-rated Deadpool movie from the mouse yet.
But it is happening.
Allegedly, supposedly.
Allegedly, reportedly.
Allegedly.
We shall see, I suppose.
But those are our thoughts on Mortal Kombat. If you haven't seen the 1995 Mortal Kombat, I know some people that are like, this is just straight trash.
Buy it on VHS. Get the full... the full experience.
I have my DVD right here. Classy cover of just the Mortal Kombat. Oh, we didn't even talk about the theme song is the most amazing thing. Mortal Kombat. The most techno thing you could ever want out of anything.
So 90s. It was amazing.
Do, 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 do. And it made...
It's on every hype list.
It made me so happy that they at least incorporated it a little bit in the new movie. Because, like, if they didn't, I would have been so mad.
Yes, rage quit.
It's like, how dare you? How dare you do this? So that's Mortal Kombat. Now to talk about Dragon Ball. Which, I guess I'll start because, like, mine's much smaller in my capacity in terms of watching. So I recall watching Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid, and the janitor at our elementary school talking to us about it. Janitor Steve.
Coolest janitor ever, except maybe the guy that's in The Offspring. Because
I thought you were going to say Scrubs.
No, I have not watched Scrubs.
Apparently this janitor, I have also not, like, watched Scrubs, but I've watched enough, like, random episodes of Scrubs to realize he's a pretty fun character. It's also the dad from The Middle. And also the guy from Major League who's like, who are these effing guys? So, but the last time I watched Dragon Ball was with you, and you randomly put it on, and it had the Egyptian purple cat guy.
Fierce. And
legitimately the whole episode was him and Goku or Gohan charging at each other. It was just like, which they were indeed the whole time. So
actually, the Sean Schemmel, the voice actor of Goku, actually almost passed out one time when he was trying to power up because it was one of those like really drawn out power ups, and he literally almost passed out from it.
that is method voice acting.
Yes.
Doing it along with the character. They're not taking a break. I'm not taking a break.
That
So, Ethan, what do you love so much about Dragon Ball?
The action is definitely one. I feel like Dragon Ball, the humor is great. It's crazy thing is like that started in the 80s and it's still going strong today. Obviously, there are different variations.
Yeah, and even when the movies come out, they make a whole bunch of money in theaters.
Yeah,
like,
well,
good for them.
It just shows how popular Dragon Ball franchise is, that the Japanese government donated 50 million yen to Toei Animation because it was one of like 4 movies, I think, that the Japanese government did that with, and the only animated movie. They gave that because they were having like a simultaneous release with the U.S. and Japan, and they wanted to get it out as like worldwide as possible. So they just showed like how much Dragon Ball franchise like means to the like, Japanese people, because it's freaking huge. It's big here, but it's not even close to what it's like in Japan. It's like everything.
Well, like, obviously, it's one of the most popular, by far, anime.
I feel like that's, if anybody's ever watched an anime, it's probably Dragon Ball.
It's one of 3 things. You either watch Dragon Ball as a kid, Yu-Gi-Oh, or Pokemon. That's basically what you probably watched, and didn't even realize you were watching an anime.
Yeah, I didn't realize I was watching anime until, late teens, maybe, I guess.
Yeah.
Wait, what? This is Japanese? Oh, that's why their voices don't match up. With the lips and the mouth movements and all that.
Yes, because Joey Wheeler from Yu-Gi-Oh is totally from, like, New York. Joey Wheeler! Just like, I'm pretty sure he's not. And look how American Bandit Keith is. He has a American bandana. But I remember watching it as a kid, and like the main thing was like Vegeta, Frieza. That was the main like antagonist. I remember Goku, like, haven't watched Dragon Ball in a long time, so you can correct me. Like, I think he had died and he's like running along the dragon kind of thing for like a long ass time. And it's like the action is
what the heck was it called?
The action's so cool and influential that the whole entire final battle in Matrix Revolutions between Agent Smith and Neo is a ripoff of a fight from Dragon Ball Z. It's like basically shot for shot. They point that out in the honest trailer for the Matrix, and it's just like, oh,
hey, it works for them.
Hey, and to be perfectly honest, that was probably the coolest part of Matrix Revolutions. So they borrowed from good stock.
Yeah, they're definitely some of my favorite characters to cosplay. My favorite character is definitely Gohan. A lot of people, I don't know what's with Akira Toriyama, why he keeps nerfing him. He's supposed to surpass Goku, but Akira Toriyama is just like, no, Goku has to be the man, and everything is like, no, give it to Gohan.
I feel like I need to ask the controversial question, who wins in a fight, Goku or Superman?
It is not Superman.
I remember
I
when
throw
that video...
Vegeta against Superman, maybe even Krillin, and he'd still beat Superman because Superman sucks.
How about Piccolo? Would Piccolo win?
Piccolo would still win.
We know how Ethan feels about this. You should all comment, because I remember when that video came out.
It was that bull. That's all I'm gonna say.
There's some interesting videos on the internet. I remember that Wolverine beat Predator and Batman.
No one's beating Batman.
Wolverine's beating Batman, but that could be another video. We talk about that.
Just start writing notes of future videos. Be like a political debate. Who do you think's gonna win this?
Wolverine's indestructible.
Not if you're Batman. You find a way. He
Basically,
beat down Superman.
Basically,
Batman beat down Superman. You don't think Goku can kill him? Whoever did that video just needs to not do anymore.
And he didn't even go full Saiyan. I hit a chord.
I have serious feels.
Serious
about
feels.
that video.
But like, Dragon Ball's so influential, and like, obviously, you're all watching my channel, because like, I watch a lot of movies. And whenever I see a Dragon Ball movie coming out in theaters, like, it still makes like a lot of money.
It's a big deal.
What was the last